Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a 3 minute or 4 or 5 or a 600 minute or so podcast of films that I review, whether the films suck, whether they're great, whether they're so complex it requires a fucking cipher book and 4 watches to get the sense of it. This is March, my birthday month, so I've been reviewing all of my favorite films. I don't have too much to review. I got maybe a top 4, top 5, whatnot. Today, I will be talking about one of my favorite directors of all time, his movie E.T., the Extra-Terrestrial, directed by Steven Spielberg, written by Melissa Matheson, produced by Kathleen Kennedy and Spielberg, starring Dee Wallace, Henry Thomas, Peter Coyote, Robert McNaughton, and fucking Drew Barrymore when she was a fucking kid. Firestarter. Cinematography by Alan DeVayu. Edited by Carol Littleton. Music. You know the music, man. This guy's a king. This guy's a legend. He's done Star Wars. He's done Harry Potter. John Williams. I feel like this is a film that is it's when you look at it from an editing standpoint, it is a duet between Spielberg and Williams. This is the perfect film. And when I say that it's the perfect film, all of the elements of filmmaking, acting, cinematography, editing, location, screen framing, the setup of shots, colors, when they all work together, music, when they all work together, that's the perfect film. The film was released on May 26, 1982 at Cannes, June 11th, 1982 in the States. It is one of the biggest blockbusters of all time, especially during that time. I love this film. I get so pumped when I watch it. I've seen it on screen. I've seen it on the phone. I've seen it on TV. You name it, I've seen it everywhere. He pays a lot of homage to John Ford, Francois Truffaut, and even Hitchcock. You see Hitchcock in this movie. There's a lot of reverse zooms, or rather the quote unquote Hitchcock zoom in this film, and he does it so fucking good in one scene where can't even explain it properly because you just gotta fucking see it. I love the shots in this film because it does give you a perspective. When you ever see the kids on screen, it's always at eye level with the children. It's not a low angle or a high angle unless there's an adult in it. And when there's pure adults, it's either in a low angle or at a high angle. Or you don't even see the adult. You just see what you might think an adult looks like, based on their clothes, and there's a couple of shots where you don't really see the faces of adults. You just see whatever is neck down, and that's to me a little Terrence Malick-esque, because if you know Terrence Malick's work, there's some shots where you just ask yourself, man, who the fuck framed this? But when you look at it, and especially when you look at it from an artsy perspective or whatnot, you're like, oh, I get it. It's subliminal. The acting in this film is great, man. This is one of the few films where the children aren't stupid. They're kids. Kids are not as smart as adults, and you see that in this film. It's so natural the way you look at these kids act when they see an alien and decide to keep it. And they know that something like this, if the wrong eyes see this, they're going to take that thing away and cut him up and all that stuff. Plot is very simple. It's an alien, gets lost, and he needs to go home. So E.T.'s got to figure out a way to do it. And finds this kid takes him in, and there is a synergy between these two characters, one of a human, one of a animatronic, and it works. Elliot can feel the alien's thoughts and emotions, especially shown when the alien accidentally opens an umbrella, startling them both. One of my favorite scenes is the school scene where kids are doing a science experiment with the frogs, and E.T.'s drinking, and Elliot suffers the effects as well of drinking, even though he didn't drink, and it's hilarious. But it's so moving, especially with the music of John Williams. It's like a short film in itself. It just works. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but that's my cat eating food. Bastard. The acts in this film are pretty straightforward. The setup is good. The dirty work is pretty good. And then the payoff in the third act is just, it's epic. You know, it's the goodbye. You know that he has to go home. And Ellie doesn't want him to, but he just knows that that's the way that it has to be. But what I love about, like, I guess Elliot's character the most is the fact that you can see him grow up throughout this whole film. And he's still a kid, though. I mean, he's not completely grown up from that experience, but going through an experience like that, he has a better outlook of life, and especially the people that he's surrounded by with, and it's people who love him. Overall, the theme of this film is unity, family, because Elliot's family is a broken family. You know, he has a mom, single mom. He has a deadbeat dad. There are a lot of moments in the film where the characters miss their father, even though that person's not around. And you have E.T. around, and he sort of brings people together. And that's almost like godlike if you think about it, you know. I would recommend everybody to see this film, especially children, because it shows you a sense of unity. It shows you how beautiful the world is. And not only that, it puts you into the seat of it all. It's a film where there are shots that's in the point of view of certain characters, especially E.T.'s character in the Halloween trick-or-treating scene. It's a pretty great scene, too. You get to see a Yoda walking around, and you see E.T. going towards that Yoda. And it's hilarious because it's not an alien, it's a fucking kid just playing Yoda. It's great. It's hilarious. It's sort of an Easter egg of sorts, you know, to George Lucas. I would recommend everybody to see it just because it just sounds great when you look at it. When you see all these scenes just work so well with the music. And like I said, in an editing perspective, Spielberg just sets these shots up that he just knows for a fact that, like, I'm gonna add music. I know what I'm gonna add to this. I know what I want him to add on this scene, and it just works. It's something that back in the day, you know, it's just film, right? And you can storyboard all you want, but when you're getting into the nitty gritty of it, some things change. And you just got to go with that direction. My name is Ray Salazar. Follow me at Morning Shot Films on IG and YouTube. Rate and review official Morning Reel podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio or iHeartMedia, whatever it's called. Spreaker and YouTube. Thank you.